Imagine being so convinced of your own righteousness that you become blind to the cruelty of your actions. This is not just a hypothetical scenario. It's a chilling reality that Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the renowned Russian author, lived through and reflected upon. In his profound exploration of the human condition, Solzhenitsyn unveils a startling truth. The line separating good and evil does not run between nations, classes, or political parties, but right through every human heart. This line shifts and oscillates over time, revealing that even in the most corrupt hearts, a small bridgehead of good remains, and even in the purest hearts, a corner of evil lurks. But what does this mean for us? Is it possible that the secret to defeating evil lies not in grand revolutions or sweeping societal changes, but in the quiet, often overlooked battle within each of us? Solzhenitsyn's insights suggest that true change begins with self-awareness and the courage to confront our own moral failings. He argues that the revolutions of history, while aiming to eradicate evil, often end up perpetuating it by failing to discriminate between the carriers of good and evil. They inherit the very evil they sought to destroy, magnified by their own actions. Consider the Nuremberg trials, which Solzhenitsyn regards as a monumental achievement of the 20th century. These trials did not merely punish a few individuals, they challenged the very idea of evil itself. They force humanity to confront the uncomfortable truth that evil is not an external force, but a potential within each of us. Stalin, on the other hand, preferred to shoot first and ask questions later, demonstrating a failure to understand that the battle against evil is not one of brute force but of moral introspection. So, where does this leave us in the 21st century? If humanity has not yet destroyed itself, perhaps it is because we are slowly learning that the true enemy is not out there but within. The ancient maxim, "Know thyself," becomes a rallying cry for personal transformation. By reflecting on our own transgressions and mistakes, we awaken a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Evil, Solzhenitsyn suggests, is not a static concept. It is not merely about breaking rules or causing harm. Life is complex, and what is considered evil in one context may be necessary in another. The real challenge lies in understanding the process of moral construction, how we generate answers to the question of what is good. Evil, then, is the rejection of this creative exploration. It is the refusal to understand, to transcend, and to transform. It is the hatred of the virtuous and courageous, the desire to spread darkness where there could be light. This brings us to a startling realization. The great evils of history, like the Holocaust, are not just the result of monstrous individuals, but of ordinary people failing to resist the allure of power and certainty. How did Hitler, surrounded by sycophants, maintain his belief in his own righteousness? It would take exceptional character to remain humble in the face of absolute power. Most of us have personal frailties kept in check by our social environments. But what happens when those constraints are removed? Hannah Arendt famously described the banality of evil, highlighting how ordinary individuals can commit horrific acts without malice, simply by failing to question authority or their own actions. As our technological power grows, so does the potential for catastrophic consequences. Solzhenitsyn warns that we must focus on setting ourselves right, rather than others, to prevent such tragedies. The journey of self-discovery and moral growth is akin to the alchemical process described by Jung. Alchemy, the precursor to modern chemistry, was not just about transforming base metals into gold, but about the internal transformation of the psyche. The alchemists sought to understand the unknown, to become like the philosopher's stone, capable of turning base matter into spiritual gold. This process requires honesty, particularly with oneself. To lie, especially to oneself, undermines the strength needed to bear the world's tragedies, leading to cruelty and vengeance. Solzhenitsyn's own story is a testament to this transformative journey. He realized that his personal choices, his succumbing to temptation, were linked to the broader horrors of the world. It may seem insane to think that one individual's actions could influence history, but Solzhenitsyn challenges us to reconsider our innocence. Each of us, he argues, is not as harmless as we might believe. Our collective actions, driven by processes we do not fully understand, shape the course of human events. This brings us to a profound question. How can a good God allow for the existence of a suffering world? Solzhenitsyn suggests that the distinction between natural and moral evil is crucial. While tragedy can have an ennobling aspect, true evil is the willful infliction of suffering. Participating in such acts destroys character, whereas facing tragedy can strengthen it. This is the essence of the Christian myth of the crucifixion. Christ's acceptance of his fate, shared with all humanity, enables him to manifest his divine identity. To never forget the horrors of history is to know oneself, to recognize the evil twin within. The heroic and adversarial tendencies are eternal aspects of human nature. The great thinkers and dramatists have captured this truth in stories and images, while modern theorists attempt to present it logically. The figure of Satan, for instance, is not just a personification of evil attributes but a representation of a social process, totalitarianism, rigid ideology, and hatred for the self and world. Solzhenitsyn's insights compel us to turn inward, to confront the anomalies within ourselves. Avoiding these challenges only limits our growth. By facing them, we generate new information and foster courage. The unknown, once associated with fear, becomes an opportunity for personal development. This is the essence of faith in oneself and the world. In the end, Solzhenitsyn leaves us with a simple yet profound truth. Love God with all your mind, heart, and actions. Serve truth above all else and treat others as you would yourself. This is not about pity or justice but recognizing the divine potential in each person. It is more challenging to rule oneself than a city, yet this is the path to true transformation. Solzhenitsyn's journey from a prison cell to a beacon of moral insight shows us that the secret to defeating evil lies not in external battles, but in the courage to confront our own hearts. By doing so, we not only transform ourselves but contribute to the moral evolution of humanity. As we continue to ponder Solzhenitsyn's reflections, we are invited to delve deeper into the labyrinth of our own consciousness. This internal exploration is akin to navigating an ancient library filled with dusty tomes of forgotten wisdom and neglected memories. Within its walls, we encounter the myriad facets of our identity, some noble, others ignoble, but all contributing to the tapestry of our being. In this quiet solitude, we must grapple with the shadows that have long lurked in the periphery of our awareness. These shadows are not mere specters of fear, but are woven into the fabric of our daily lives, manifesting in moments of doubt, resentment, and unkindness. To engage with them is to embark on a journey of reconciliation, where we seek not to vanquish these parts of ourselves but to understand them, to integrate them into the wholeness of our identity. This process of self-reconciliation is not without its trials. It demands a steadfastness of spirit, a willingness to traverse the caverns of discomfort and vulnerability. Here, we must confront the truths that we have long buried beneath layers of self-deception and societal conditioning. It is a crucible of transformation, where the raw materials of our past experiences and choices are refined into the gold of wisdom and empathy. Through this journey, we begin to perceive the interconnectedness of all things. We realize that the line between self and other, between individual and collective, is a permeable boundary. Our actions ripple outward, influencing the world in ways both seen and unseen. This awareness instills in us a greater sense of responsibility, urging us to choose our paths with intention and care. Solzhenitsyn's narrative serves as a reminder that the path of moral growth is a lifelong endeavor. It is not a destination to be reached but a continuous unfolding of our potential for goodness and understanding. We are called to be architects of our own destiny, shaping our lives and the world around us through the choices we make each day. As we engage in this work, we come to understand that love, in its truest form, is an act of courage. It is the willingness to see and accept the full spectrum of human experience, to extend compassion to ourselves and others despite our imperfections. Love calls us to transcend the petty confines of ego and to embrace the richness of our shared humanity. In the end, Solzhenitsyn's insights illuminate a path forward, not through grandiose proclamations or sweeping reforms, but through the quiet, persistent work of self-improvement and empathy. As we endeavor to know ourselves more fully, we contribute to the collective awakening of our species, fostering a world where peace and understanding prevail. Thus, the legacy of Solzhenitsyn is not merely a reflection on the past, but a beacon guiding us toward a future where the line between good and evil is navigated with wisdom and grace. It is an invitation to each of us to become custodians of our own hearts, nurturing the seeds of kindness and courage within, so that they may blossom into acts of beauty and truth in the world.